President Trump today signed an executive order that promotes free speech and religious liberty, empowering federal agencies to ease up on enforcement of the Johnson Amendment. It orders the executive branch to vigorously enforce federal law's robust protections for religious freedom, protects the freedom of organizations to engage in religious and political speech, and it promises regulatory relief for companies that object to the Obamacare mandate for contraception. My next guest was at the White House when President Trump signed the historic executive order. Pastor at First Baptist Church in Dallas, Texas, Pastor Robert Jeffress. Pastor, great to have you with us. Let me first congratulate you. This is one of the issues that you've been talking about from the very beginning of the Trump candidacy, and many people doubted, if you will, the prospects for him to ever get to this point, and here you are, and he has delivered on his campaign promise to all evangelicals, to all Americans.
He has. What he has done, Lou, is historic. Today marks the beginning of the end of government's 60-year-old war against religious liberty. And if anybody doubts the reality of that war, Lou, just look at the Atlanta fire chief who lost his job because he published a book supporting traditional marriage. Or look at Obama's assault on the Little Sisters of the Poor. They were there today in the Rose Garden with us. I mean, President Trump has realized that this is not right. This goes against the fabric of what America is about, and he is intent on protecting what many people call our first freedom, the free exercise of religion, and I'm grateful to him for it.
And how significant is it, the Johnson Amendment, from which sprang, some would say, and I think justifiably, really the oppression of religion in the public square and prohibition?
Yes.
To what degree does this nullify or at least significantly mitigate the impact of the Johnson Amendment?
Well, it deals a serious blow to it. I had the privilege of being in the Oval Office with the President yesterday before we had a dinner with religious leaders, and he asked me if I would explain to these religious leaders why this is important. And look, Lou, the bottom line is government should not be in the business of policing the speech that comes from pulpits, whatever that speech is. They have no business doing that. You know, back in the city of Houston a couple of years ago, the city government required pastors to turn in sermons if they had talked about transgender bathroom bills. That is ludicrous. That is anti-American, and this is putting an end to that sort of nonsense.
You know, I had forgotten all about that incident in Houston in which the mayor, I mean, she got so beyond reason and law that it was extraordinary. That may actually be the apex of this political correctness and mindlessness on the part of government. I hope so. I think that certainly President Trump assures that we're moving far, far away from that dark period in our history.
That's right. And remember, Lou, it was always pastors who were at the forefront of change in America. Pastors led the way in the American Revolution, the Black-Robed Regiment. They led the way in the abolition of slavery and in the Civil Rights Movement. Just think what would have happened if these pastors had not been allowed to, quote, engage in politics. We have a right and responsibility to call out for moral and spiritual change in the country.